everyone. Today we will be discussing about 4 vectors. But before that, we must know what is Minkowski spaces. As I have already told you, Minkowski space is a 4-dimensional space where the first 3 coordinates are the same that we use in the 3-dimensional space, that is the x, y and z coordinate, and the fourth one is also a space coordinate which actually related to the time coordinate. So it is basically product of the velocity and time, velocity of light and time. So the product of both will give you the dimension of distance. So basically the Minkowski space consists of 4-dimensional space x, y, z and iota c t, and the fourth coordinate gives you information about the time basically. So as in Minkowski space we have discussed about the 4-dimensional space. So usually, as you know, in 3-dimensional space we represent the position of a particle by a position vector. For example, you see here it's a 3-dimensional space x, y and z, and suppose there is a point P located somewhere in space and its position vector r will be defined as xi plus yj plus zk, where I, j and k are the unit vectors corresponding to x, y and z axis, and x, y and z are the coordinates of this point. So this is basically defined as the position vector of this point P. So similarly, when we are defining a Minkowski space, so in Minkowski space, which is a 4-dimensional space, so to represent a point in Minkowski space we must define a 4 vector, basically a vector we need to associate with the point in Minkowski space. So there is a need to extend the concept of this 3-dimensional vector space to extend it to 4-dimensional vector space now. So now we will be discussing about a 4-dimensional vector space or 4-vector space. So here in Minkowski space, as we are discussing about 4 vectors, so either we call it 4 vector, and these 4, as you know, in Minkowski space any point is that is represented in Minkowski space, any point located in Minkowski space is known as world point. So in the similar manner, a vector associated with that world point will be called as world vector also. So either you call it world vector or you can call it 4 vector or 4-dimensional vector. All are the same things. So as you know, in 3-dimensional space we call 2 vectors as orthogonal if they satisfy this condition, where I, j and k are the unit vectors. Their dot product with itself, dot product of a unit vector with itself will give you 1, and dot product of any unit vector with the other one will give you 0. That means these vectors are called as orthogonal vector if they satisfy this condition. So in a similar manner, in 4-dimensional space, suppose we define the 3 vector, as you know, are the space coordinates. So we are denoting the same unit vectors here, I, j and k for the x, y and z coordinates, and for the iota ct, suppose we define a unit vector as p cap. So in 4-dimensional space also, if 2 vectors are orthogonal, they must satisfy this condition, that is their product with themselves, product of a unit vector in 4-dimensional space with itself will give you 1, and its product with any other unit vector will give you 0. That is I dot I will give you 1. In a similar manner, j dot j will give you 1, and k dot k will give you 1, and p dot p will also give you 1, because these are unit vectors, and also their product with the other vector will give you 0 value. So I dot j will be 0, I dot k will be 0, I dot p will be 0, and j dot p will be 0, k dot p will be 0, and all the other products that include 2 other vectors. You can define a Kronecker delta also here, that whenever I and j, suppose this value changes, so the product will be 0, dot product. Remember, we are taking here the dot product. So in 4 vector or a world vector is represented by either a bar below its symbol or you can represent it by an arrow below the symbol. So let me just put it this way. You can, if you want to represent, suppose we are representing a unit, so not a unit vector, a 4 vector A. So I will represent it like this, either by this is a 4 vector, or we can represent it like this by an arrow below it. Clear? So this is the representation or denotation of a 4 vector basically. So suppose we have a 4 vector, it will have 4 components. The 3 component will consist of the space coordinate, that is actually we are defining a vector here, so it may be a velocity vector or a momentum vector or a force vector. We don't know what kind of this vector is, so we'll call it here the components only. Suppose we have a 4 vector A, it will have 4 components. Ax is its component along the x-axis, the space coordinate x coordinate. Ay is its component along the space y cap coordinate, and Az is its component along the z coordinate, which is a space coordinate, and AP, p cap is its component along the p coordinate, which is related to the time coordinate basically. So this is representation of a 4 vector, and you can also denote it by any other way also. There are many ways to represent basically the 4 vectors that we will be discussing later. So now suppose you have 4 coordinates in a Minkowski space, which are suppose x1, x2, x3 and x4. These are the 4 coordinates of a point in Minkowski space in the S frame. So suppose these are the coordinates of a point. Suppose we have a 4-dimensional space. I am representing only 2 of it. Suppose this is x and x1. Suppose this is x1 and this is x4. So what does x4 means? Basically it is eta ct coordinate. So suppose we are given any point here in this space and its coordinate. So this will be the position vector of this point that we have denoted. Suppose this point is P and its coordinate are x1, x2, x3 and x4. I have not drawn the other 2 axes here because it's difficult to define 4 vectors, 4 mutually perpendicular vectors in 2D. So suppose this point has the 4 coordinates as x1, x2, x3 and x4. So this is what we have represented. This is a Minkowski space and a 4-dimensional space. These are the vectors, unit vectors or the axes. We have denoted 2 axes only, and the point has the coordinate x1, x2, x3, x4 in the S frame. Now suppose we have another frame in Minkowski space which is S prime frame and which is moving with velocity v with respect to this S frame, and again these frames were coinciding at time t is equal to 0. T is equal to t prime is equal to 0. So now suppose as this S prime frame is moving, so the coordinates of any point P which were x1, x2, x3, x4 in the S frame will now change. These coordinates are not going to change in the S prime frame. So suppose x1 prime, x2 prime, x3 prime and x4 prime are the coordinates of this same point P in the S prime frame of reference. So as you know, the transformation equation we have already derived in the earlier lectures. These are the transformation equation for the coordinates. Lorentz, these are basically the Lorentz transformation equations. So these are the Lorentz transformation equations, which is basically transformation equation to transform the coordinates of any point from one frame of reference, which is S prime frame of reference to S frame of reference to S prime frame of reference. If we know the coordinate of any point in S frame of reference, then we can calculate its coordinate in the S prime frame of reference by applying this equation. And in a similar manner, this equation can also be represented as x mu prime is equal to summation of a mu prime mu v x v, where x mu prime are the coordinates in the S prime frame of reference and xv are the coordinates, position coordinates in the S frame of reference. So here v is a variable basically which is going from 1 to 4. You can also find this notation in some books as 0 to 3. That's your choice. You can represent it in any way. Basically we have to represent 4 vectors, so it will have 4 components. So these are the basically 4 components of the 4 vector, or you can say 4 coordinates. So so x is going to vary from x1, x2, x3, x4 here, and a mu v is this transformation equation, and this is the matrix. A mu v is this matrix, basically the transformation matrix. This is the transformation matrix. So, and x mu prime is going to take value, mu is also going from 1 to 4. So it will be x1 prime, x2 prime, x3 prime and x4 prime. So if we want to calculate the value of x1 prime will be equal to, here it will be x1 to 4 because it is summation, and a mu v is the same matrix. So you have to apply this matrix here and you will get the value of x1 prime coordinate in a similar manner. So you have to multiply it with the same coordinate. V is going to take only one value here, mu is going to vary, and you will have to apply this matrix over here. So you can calculate these value of these each coordinate by using this equation. So in the similar manner, we have defined the position vector and the equation for the position vector. If we want to transform the coordinate of any point from one frame of reference to another frame of reference, we will have to apply this equation, transformation equation, or you can say this equation for the for the change of coordinate of any point from one frame of reference to other frame of reference. We will have to apply this equation. And if we want to suppose if we know the coordinate of any point in the S prime frame of reference and we want to know its coordinate in the S frame of reference, what we need to do? We need to apply the transform equation, or we can apply the inverse transform equation. So what will happen? This matrix is going to move here, this matrix is going to move here, these are going to change their positions, and the transformation this matrix, the transformation matrix, we have to take its transpose. So you apply its transpose here, reverse these matrix, invert their positions, and then you will get the transformation equation for the points in the S frame of reference. So we will have the value of S prime frame of reference, and we can get the value of the coordinates in the S frame of reference. So now suppose if there is any vector defined in the 4-dimensional space. So for a 4 vector, suppose we have a vector which is defined in Minkowski space. So as you know, any point in Minkowski space, if we take another frame of reference which is moving with respect to this frame of reference, then its coordinate are going to change according to the Lorentz transformation equation, which is represented here by this equation. So suppose if we are defining a vector, it will also be represented by a coordinate. So its coordinate are again going to change. That is, coordinate means that its component are going to change in another frame of reference, which is S prime frame of reference. So again, if a vector, 4 vector defined in Minkowski space, if we are defining a vector in Minkowski space, so it must satisfy this this equation, transformation equation, for another frame of reference, which is S prime frame of reference. So if any other vector other than this x component, which are the position coordinates, is satisfying this equation, then it will be called as a 4 vector. So is that clear? So also, as you know, for the 4 vector, you know that x square plus y square plus z square plus minus of c square t square is equal to what? X square plus y square plus z square minus of x prime square plus y prime square plus z prime square minus of c square t prime square, which is nothing but you know that it is a Lorentz invariant quantity, or we can call it as r square minus c square t square, which is a Lorentz invariant quantity which we have already proved in our previous lectures. So that condition basically. So this is the same condition. So a 4 vector is going to satisfy this condition also. So as I have already told you, for any set of 4 components of a vector a mu are its component basically, defining suppose a1, a2, a3, a4. If it is going to transform under Lorentz transformation, then it will be represented like this. Its transformation equation must be represented like this if it is a 4 vector. So now let us define, as you know, in 3-dimensional space, if we are taking 2 vectors and we are taking dot product of the 2 vectors, then you know that a dot b, suppose if we are taking it in 3-dimensional space, then a dot b will be defined as what? Ax will be defined as ax bx plus ay by plus az bz. These are the components. So in the similar manner, if we have to define dot product of 4 vectors, then it will be defined as, suppose A is a 4 vector and B is also a 4 vector. So its component will be, as A is a 4 vector, its component will be A1, A2, A3 and A4. In a similar manner, B is a 4 vector. It has its component as B1, B2, B3 and B4. These are the 4 components of these 4 vectors. Then its dot product will be defined as product of the 4 components, that is I dot I is 1, I dot j will be 0, so its dot product with the other component will be 0. So you can write as A1 B1 plus A2 B2 plus A3 B3 plus A4 B4. So this is the dot product of 4 vectors. As you know, in 3-dimensional space, if we are taking dot product of 2 vectors, and suppose these vectors, we are considering the same 2 vectors which are having their component as ax, ay, az and bx, by, bz in the S frame of reference, and now we are taking the component of the same 2 vectors in the S prime frame of reference, then these vectors are going to change. These vectors will become a prime and b prime. So their dot product will be what? Ax prime, I am writing it here, suppose this value is here. So a prime b prime dot will become what? Ax prime bx prime plus ay prime by prime plus az prime dz prime. So this will become their dot product, and because dot product is what gives you the net flow, so this value is not going to change. So that means this dot product will come out to be equal to what? The vector itself. You can also try it. So in the similar manner, for dot product of 4 vector also, if these vector we are taking in the S frame, so if we consider the same 2 vectors a and b in the S prime frame of reference, then obviously these 4 vectors are going to have different component value in the S prime frame of reference, and their value will be what? Suppose in S prime frame of reference, these values will be a1 prime, a2 prime, a3 prime and a4 prime. So magnitude of a is going to change, and in a similar manner b is also going to change. So the value of b vector also is going to change, but their dot product value will be equal to what? That a1 b1 plus a2 b2 plus a3 b3 plus a4 b4 and if we take its dot product, it will come out to be this value, and this value will come out to be equal to what? Dot product of these 4 vectors. Since these are 4 vectors, so that means A prime dot B prime, these are the 4 vectors, will be equal to A dot B. These are also the 4 vectors. So you can try it on your own. What you need to do, you need to substitute the value of A1 prime by using the transformation equation which we have defined earlier. So you must know what is the value of A1 prime in term of A1, A2, A3 and A4. Similarly, you must substitute the value of B1 prime, and you can by substituting the value, you will get that these value will be coming out to be equal to A1 B1 plus A2 B2 plus A3 B3 plus A4 B4. You can try it on your own. So the dot product of these 4 vectors is defined in the similar manner in which the dot product of 3 vectors is defined. So now we can define or we can go a little further, and we will be discussing about the velocity for vectors, taking example of a 4 vector, and we are considering the simple example of a velocity 4 vector. So as you know, in 3-dimensional space, if we have to calculate velocity of any particle, what we do, we take the, suppose the coordinate are x, y and z, then it's the component of velocity along the x direction will be dx by dt, and its component along suppose y direction will be dy by dt, and its component along z direction will be dz by dt. So you will call it as dx by dt as ux, dy by dt as uy, and dz by dt as uz, the velocity of the particle along the x component, x direction, and velocity of particle along y, and similarly its velocity along the z direction. But as you know, in 4-dimensional space, time is not the absolute quantity here. So here, considering the time as the derivative term, as you know, time is also depending on the space coordinate of the other frame of reference. So instead of that, we must define tau, which is the proper time, as the derivative term. So instead of defining time, we will define the proper time as the derivative term. Instead of t, we should use d tau. So what is the difference between proper time and the time? As you know, proper time is going to remain the same value, the time required when that when the 2 events are either occurring at the same position. So that is called the proper time. So as you know, when we define in Minkowski space, we have already discussed about this equation in just the last lectures. You can recall it from the last lecture. So what I have done here, I have just divided it by the delta t square term. So what you will get, delta tau square divided by delta t square. This term will become 1 as I divided by delta t square. And here this term will become delta x by delta t, delta x square by delta t square, plus delta y square by delta t square, plus delta z square by delta t square. So combining is, I can write it like delta t square into c square. So this quantity delta x delta y square plus delta z square, I can write it as delta r square by delta t square. So this will become what? The velocity of the particle in the s frame of reference. So I am writing it as u. So this term will become u square, and there is c square also. So this term will become what? Delta tau square by delta t square is equal to 1 minus this term will become as u square divided by c square. And if I take its square root on both sides, then what you will get, delta tau over delta t will be equal to square root of 1 minus u square over c square. So we will get delta tau will be equal to delta t into 1 minus u square over c square. You can convert these deltas into d for a small change. So as now we will have to define the components of the velocity vector also. So we will denote the velocity 4 vector by ui term. I goes from 1 to 4, and the component of the velocity 4 vector will be dxi by d tau. Xi is again component of the 4 vector. I is going to go from 1 to 4. So for u1, what we will write? u1 as dx1 by d tau. So dx1 by d tau will be what? I can write it as like dx1 by dt into dt over d tau, and substituting this value of dt by d tau here from here. So as you know, d tau is equal to what? dt into under root of 1 minus u square over c square. So dt over d tau will be what? D tau is going to come over here, and this term is going to go over here. So it will get dt over d tau will be 1 upon under root of 1 minus u square over c square. So what I have done here, dx1 by dt is known as the component of the velocity vector ux, and dt by d tau I have substituted its value, which is 1 upon under root of 1 minus u square over c square. So u1 will be ux upon under root of 1 minus u square over c square, or I can write it as gamma ux. So in the similar manner, u2 will also be defined in dx2 over d tau. That is, we can also write it like this, and it will come out to be uy. As you know, x2 basically denote the y coordinate, so I am writing it as uy. You cannot write it as u2 here because u2 is the component of the velocity. And if you write it u2 here, so this equation is not going to be justified. So remember, it is the ux component. In the 3-dimensional space we have already defined. So similar manner, u3 will be defined as dx3 over d tau. You can derive it on your own. And in the similar manner, u4, as you know, dx4. x4 has the value as iota ct. So writing it like this, dx4 by dt and dot product with dt by d tau. dt by d tau will have value 1 upon under root of 1 minus u square over c square, and the value of dx4 will be iota ct. So it will be d of iota ct, as c is the velocity of light, which is constant. So iota c will come out and it will become dt over d tau. So substitute the value of dt over d tau and you will get this value. So now also take the value of, suppose suppose we are taking dot product of two 4 vectors, that is we are calculating u dot u. So as you know, what we need to do, component multiply by itself. u1 will be multiplied by u1, u2 will be multiplied by u2 under the dot product, and u3 will be multiplied by u3, and u4 will be multiplied by u4. So u1 is basically ux upon under root of 1 minus u square over c square. So taking u dot u, what you will get, the first 3 component will give you the velocity component, so they will become u square, ux square plus uy square plus uz square will become u square upon, as you know, under root, there were 2 terms, so it will come out of the under root, so it will be u square upon 1 minus u square over c square minus, and the fourth component u4 dot u4, so it will be c square upon under root of not under root 1 minus u square over c square. So if you solve this equation, you will get the value minus c square. I hope this is clear. So in the similar manner, you can also calculate the value of momentum vector also.